Good evening, everybody. To begin with, I will take a couple of minutes just to keep you updated on the platform, the BSc Star MF platform. Yesterday, we also introduced the non-demat mode onto the BSc Exchange platform. And right now, we are having 39 AMCs. From Monday, we'll be having 40 AMCs on the platform. This financial year, we have done close to 1 million transactions, and in value terms, it has been over 10,000 crores. And the market share has been around 80% on exchange platform. Now I will be talking about the partnership, the alliance, the importance of it. Mr. Prem was very keen when he said that we need to see the developed market, the evolved markets, they being Europe and America, how the financial advisors are able to do better business, and how is that we can bring those things into our practice in India. Next. Yeah. Now, why should a financial advisor, we'll start this, why should a financial advisor develop this alliance? See, we have a tendency wherein we think that I myself can do everything. The whole idea of this is let the experts, the people who are expert in their part of the business, should do their jobs, and we should do what we are expert at. And this is how a win-win alliance is created. Next slide, please. Yeah, why strategic alliance? Now, this strategic alliance does a 3-win combination. A win for you, a win for your strategic partner, and also a win for the customer. How do we do it? That is what we are going to look. And how beneficial it is. What we have done is that we have found out on the research studies done in Europe and in America, how they have done it. And we will see how this can benefit the Indian financial advisory industry. If you can look, most of the financial advisors have been able to get their top customers from references from other professionals. Basically, it has been chartered accountants and lawyers. Now you could see this is the major category, the attorney and CPS, which they call in the Europe and America. These are your basic strategic partner alliances which you can create. Now why this strategic alliance? Let us understand this. First thing is that this alliance is created so that there is a relationship built in between the two, the financial advisor as well as the other partner, that is the chartered accountant or the lawyer. And it should be done in such a way that there is an economical benefit to both of them. Now we look, why should a chartered accountant or a lawyer come and be your partner? What is the benefit of them? See, what we have seen is that affluent people who go to the lawyers for wills or chartered accountant for their tax planning and other plannings, most of them are affluent customers. When they go there, they are looking advisory pertaining to their taxation as well as from the legal point of view. Now what happens if there is any in-house, if the same entity, the same chartered accountant has an in-house financial advisor, there is a clash of interest because of cross-selling. Whenever there is a cross-selling, the customer trust is at stake because the same firm has a financial advisor as well as a chartered accountant. The chartered accountant must be giving confidential information to the financial advisor, and hence the trust factor is available there. So that is why best option is that you get into an alliance. The chartered accountant or the lawyer gets an alliance with a financial advisor who is outside the firm. This is how the model has developed. You could see the predominantly it is the collaborative model, the model wherein you develop a strategic alliance with the financial professionals or the lawyers. So we can very easily, you can see here the process which should be followed is that we should do a pilot test. Pilot test is that you find out the people who are good accountants or lawyers in your city, town. Then start with few customers, see how well you get the returns, how is this partnership getting developed. And once this partnership is developed, we should be able to scale it. This is the potential of the alliance, wherein everybody is a winner. The chartered accountant or the lawyer is able to win because he does not have to have in-house facility for financial advisory, so the cost is not there. At the same time, for a financial advisor, he is able to gain affluent, wealthy customers. Our last session was how to get the wealthy customers. This is one of the ways where we can get the wealthy customers. So you get customers, and the other part, the counterpart, is able to save the cost. And this is the benefit of this alliance. So you win, your alliance partner wins, and the ultimate beneficiary, because you are doing a professional job, is that the client wins. Everything is done so that the client wins. Now, if you can look at the wealth management, we talk about wealth management. What is wealth management? If you can define this wealth management, the core, it is the investment consulting, advanced planning, and relationship management. This relationship management is a place where we need to develop these alliances, the partnership with the professionals such as chartered accountants and lawyers. Thank you.
But you know, one of the things is how do you handle confidential information? Suppose one of the hesitations that one set of professionals has in dealing with the other professional is how do you migrate the client, keeping the sensitivities and confidentiality involved?
Yeah, see, the whole idea is that you would understand is the approach which we have had. If I'm a financial planner, I also try to be a tax expert. If I am a chartered accountant, apart from doing everything of the chartered accountancy and taxation, I also try to become a financial advisor. The idea is that I have the information, the total financial information is available with me. Depending upon this financial advisor, I can create a niche for myself where I can say that, sir, there is a possibility wherein you can have a financial planning from an expert. This is the person who I can refer to you, who can, depending upon your financial condition, he is your best advice. So the whole idea is that I will do the things which I am expert at. And whatever I feel there is an opportunity, I will give it to the outside, the reference. This is how the alliance will be created. Now, similarly, for a financial planner, what happens? For a financial advisor is able to give the advisory services. And if he has customers who also need a taxation planning or he needs a consultation with will, so he can come to his partner who is a chartered accountant or a lawyer. So it is like I am able to give advise my customer proper. So the customer will feel that he is not trying to do something which he is not best at. He is giving me somebody else. He is asking me to go to some other place because he is the better person in giving that advice.
Thanks, Omkeshwer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Omkeshwer. I'm sure all of us have a substantial base of clients with relevant details that sit on our computers at all times. But how many times have we actually thought about this as an opportunity to know our clients better? Today, let us invite Amit Trivedi to come and tell us as to how we can increase the share of wallet of our clients more effectively using the database that exists with us already. Amit, may I request you to please come on the stage and share your views on how our advisor friends can use this client data into analytics.
Good evening, everybody. This is the last session of a very long day for all of us. So before I start, I'll just tell you something that happened when I was having lunch and met one old friend, Ronak Indocha. And Ronak said, so Prem is kept the best for the last, isn't it? So Ronak, wherever you are, and for the benefit of the others, let me set the expectations right. In a cricket match, you don't expect Virat Kohli to walk in at number 11. It's always Ishant Sharma. Yeah. Having said that, thanks Prem anyway. It's a wonderful...
Amit, you know, in any entertainment event, वो grand finale होता है. तो आपका grand finale है. So
Thanks.
Ronak, thank you for...
Thanks Prem for these kind words. But let me reveal a secret. The reality is, because I was traveling and I was coming back to Bombay only in the morning, so I requested Prem for a session after lunch. So that's how my session is the last. No other reason. Yeah, so that's the truth. And that's where, you know, the session that we are going to have today, this next 30 minutes or so, is about how to convert data into insights. So what I did was, I had put down my thoughts on paper and thought of speaking to some practitioners who really do it day in and day out. And I spoke to 3 people, so I'd like to thank them. One person is visible, I mean, I can see him right in front of me. The other was in the audience and can't see him right now. And the third has not come here today. So these 3 gentlemen are Deepak Khemani, Nikhil Nayak, and Ranjit Dani. So I spoke to these 3 people. I must thank them for their insights in creating this whole session. Oh, sorry, we have... So the background to this whole presentation is that I understand that people sitting in this room, it's a very heterogeneous audience, heterogeneous group. There are financial planners who work on a comprehensive financial planning model, and there are some people who are simply working as distributors of financial products and simply picking up forms. And there are a lot of people somewhere in between. So it's such a heterogeneous group. From that point of view, it was a challenge to create a program so that everybody benefits out of it. Now let's start with the first thing first. Whenever we have to do such a session, I thought let's go to the dictionary and understand the meaning of the terms that we are going to use. First of all, what we refer to data as any kind of fact, numbers, information, some of the things that I think Uma also picked up beautifully, and she shared a couple of things. Let's say she shared that blue chip funds example, that last 1 year, the SIP has delivered more than 40%. But if you look at a 5 or 10 year data, then the numbers are in the reasonable range of 15%. So that is a beautiful example of converting an readily available data into an insight which you can take to the clients and talk to them. What I'm going to do right now is looking at that data and seeing how client data can be used and what kind of insights that we can obtain in various different areas. So what is insight? Insight is the faculty of seeing the underlying truth. Whether my session is last because I am like Ishant Sharma, or whether Prem thinks that I am the best, well, the reality is we didn't want to take a chance of a flight getting delayed. So that's the truth. Insight is digging deeper into the data that is available, into the information that is available, and find out how this same data, same information can be used for various purposes. And we said if such a session is to be done, is there anybody in support of what we are saying? And Google is an enormously useful place. So I looked at Google and searched for data versus insight, and got 3 different people to talk about this subject from 3 completely different backgrounds. One was a detective, a famous detective. Sherlock Holmes says, it is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data. The other is a management guru, Edward Deming. He said, in God we trust, everybody else must bring data. Very often, people like us, we keep meeting a lot of clients, we keep talking to each other, and sometimes some concepts are being thrown at us without any backing of data. The classic concept is that, and there's some one very, very interesting message that keeps doing round. Somebody dug up some data and said, in 1979, Sensex was 100. In 1989, it was, or in 1988, it was 1,000. Then it was 10,000, then 20,000. So every 10 years, or no, sorry, yeah, 6 times in every 10 years, something of that sort, yeah. 6 times in every 10 years, some such data was picked up. No, that's only one part of the data. If you simply shift the dates from 1979 to 1982, and then look at 10-year data, then the picture completely changes, because 1982, Sensex was 150, 1992, it was 4,500. And in 2002, it was 3,000. The moment you look at data, you got to be careful. What are you really trying to find out? Otherwise, a lot of times, we start with an objective that I have to get this result, and now I have to modify the data to fit into my result. The basic objective should always be to respect the data and then let the data do the talking and find the insight. I can't start with my hypothesis and fit the data to prove that I was right. And that's where what Deming said is very, very important. If you bring data, then let's talk. Otherwise, just don't talk in the air. So we've seen one detective, a management guru, and now somebody from literature, the great poet. 3 different people talking about 3 different things. Once again, I give one example of the data, the way it is being used. A lot of times, we use what we call the thumb rules. One of my most favorite thumb rule is how much allocation should you have in equity? 100 minus age. I love that. I simply love that. So recently I met a gentleman, 110 years old. So I asked him to buy some put options on the market. Yeah. Thumb rules are of no help. Ultimately, you have to verify that and then go ahead. But at this stage, let me also add a word of caution. In our market, we do not have enough history of data. Sensex started in 1985 with a base year of 1979. So as such, we do not have a lot of data as far as the index, market index is concerned. If you look at the bond markets, interest rates were controlled by RBI till 96 or 98. So we have real market-driven interest rates only after that period. Mutual funds started declaring daily NAV only in 1993 December. Till then, there was no daily NAV. We don't have enough data. And without that enough data, we'll have to keep going back to the data time and again to verify whatever insights we obtained earlier, whether they still hold true or not. So we'll have to keep doing that. Now this is about market. We are talking about the client's data. So that's where the question is, where do I get the data? For me, it is always easy to look up to Google. But your client's data is not available here. Okay, so that source is not available for searching for your clients. So we'll first start with some simple sources of data and look at where you can obtain the data from. Once again, this part is important from the point of view that this is a heterogeneous audience, heterogeneous group. People who are performing financial planning might be collecting a lot of data from their clients. But those who are not performing financial planning or comprehensive planning, they may not have a lot of data, or so they feel. My sense is there is good amount of data already available with you. So let's look at the sources. Let me add one more word out here. These are simple sources of data. So I'm not even asking you to spend a lot of time searching for the data. It's important to understand that we do a lot of work inside the office, but eventually the business is only going to come when we meet the client. So it's no point in spending a lot of time in the office. It's better to spend a lot of, and Bharat Bagla is sitting here and we were just discussing. One of my colleagues had put a, long back when I was working, so he had put a, note, a small note on his table. And this guy, this was a sales guy, so it applies to each one, whether you like yourselves to be called salespeople or not. The note said, presence in office is absence from sales. Okay, so we'll keep the sources such simple that the data is easily available. And here appears a scary looking form. Yeah, it is your individual KYC form. It doesn't matter. Everyone was scary enough. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about the sequels that movie makers make. Every KYC form was scary. But this KYC form contains a lot of information about the client, and you are supposed to have a copy of this. So if you got the client's KYC done, whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you designed it or not, you have already collected a lot of data. Second, all the mutual fund application forms, all the insurance application forms or insurance proposal forms, if you're dealing in loans, the loan application form, you already captured a lot of other data in this form, some of which was not captured in KYC forms. Simple sources of data. But if you are performing financial planning, in whatever manner, you have collected some data through your data collection sheet. Now, what this data collection sheet would cover, which may not be available in the mutual fund or insurance proposals or KYC forms. One of the most important point of data that you collect in this data collection sheets is the client's financial goals. Now, this data, according to me, holds tremendous amount of power. If you have had that discussion with your client about what the client's goals are, you are actually able to read the client's mindset, what the client is thinking about. The goals also tell you a story. So Vishal was mentioning about some of the clients contemplating whether to put the children to the IB school or not. And he also shared the insight that he drew from that. And he said it is not a question of 10x in year one. It is a question of 10x for the next 6 years and 50x in college. According to me, this tells me something very different. It tells me that a client who is thinking of sending the child for education abroad is already spending a lot of money for schooling today. And not just schooling, school plus private tuitions. Without telling me, this client has given me a hint about the money that he is spending on an annual basis only for the kids' education. With this insight, then I can have a much more meaningful conversation with the client. Whether we like it or not, whether we understand it or not, clients are generally rational, and when it comes to their goal setting, their goals are also rational in line with the client's own understanding of one's own financial situation. You won't come across a situation where Mukesh Ambani's goal is to buy a Nano. And very difficult to imagine Amit Trivedi thinking of buying a Ferrari. अपनी चादर देख के सब पांव फैलाते हैं. So that also, the goals also tell you what the client is thinking of his own capabilities. And finally, when we are talking about forms and data,